Welcome to The Real with Joseph Labman. I am Joseph Labman. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of The Real, taking time out of your day to come watch this episode. I really appreciate that. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe for me. I'd really appreciate that as well. That's the best way you can support this channel and help me grow my content and grow this channel to where I'd like it to be. Everybody hit the like button for me on the way in on this video today. That also helps promote this video more in the algorithms, helps grow this channel more as well. Please share this content. I would really appreciate that. My guests would as well. If you would please share this episode with someone you know that maybe is interested in the topic we're talking about today. Please leave a comment below as well. We'd love to hear your guys' feedback. You can interact with myself and the guest on the panel and the live chat as well. Whatever we're talking about, just leave a comment there in the live chat. Pop in and say hello. We'll put it on the screen for you. And yeah, without further ado, let's get to the show. Welcome back to The Real with Joseph Labman. I am Joseph Labman. Hope you guys are having a great Sunday evening. Welcome into The Real. If you're new here, like I said, please like, subscribe, and share. I'd really appreciate that. Make sure my mic's on. Welcome into The Real. Here we are. We're back, folks. We're back to our fourth season now covering the Browns since 2022. Yeah. So welcome on into The Real. Here we are again after another Browns loss today. The Browns lost 16-17 to the Cincinnati Bengals. Another heartbreaking loss as usual here in Cleveland. So I'll get right into it. A couple of my key takes from the game today that I saw before I let my guests get up here and go on. We'll see what their takes are. But yeah, actually, let me get the stats up here real quick. So let's start here for my take. Right here. Here's the box score from today's game. Here's the team stats. And as you can see there, Browns 22 first downs to Cincinnati's 11. Passing first downs 13-7. All right, 5-3. Third down efficiency 9-16. They were 7-14. Total plays, the Browns had 71 total plays to Cincinnati's 49. We had 327 total yards. They had 141. I think they had I saw a stat a little bit ago that Dan sent me. I have it right here. It says from ESPN Research, the Browns held the Bengals to 7 yards in the second half. It's the fewest yards in the second half by a winning team in the last 25 years. Cleveland outgained Cincinnati 327 to 141 and doubled up on first down 22-11 in a 1-point loss. And so the Browns dominated in a lot of areas. You see their passing yards 278 to 95. Now rushing yards were a little even. We're even. We had 24 attempts. They had 23. One of my concerns, though, in the second half, I think at times situationally on first down, second down, we could have ran the ball a little more to Dylan Sampson. The running game wasn't great today. That's what my first take was. The offensive line, and some flashes was good, but in the running game, they weren't that good today. Weren't really creating a lot of holes. Getting beat a lot of times. Even the receivers sometimes in the running game weren't doing a good job. Cedric Tillman got blown up on one play that blew up a running play. The overall rushing block, just the running game from the offensive line, the running backs. Obviously, we get Quinchon back here soon. I thought Dylan played okay, but a lot of times, no matter who was at back, the holes just were not open consistently, and there wasn't a whole lot going on. And I thought some of the play calling, some of the design sometimes there was just a basic inside zone run. At that times we ran a little more gap scheme, a little more, pulling the tight ends, running wham blocks. I thought we had a little more success, getting at least 3 or 4 yards instead of, you see, we averaged there 2 yards per rush. That's not going to cut it in the NFL, and really for the Browns team, that's their DNA. We're supposed to be getting back to Kevin's offense this year, and you saw it in spurts today. I thought, the tight ends were a lot heavily utilized, a lot more, 2 tight end sets. Harold Fant, I thought, had a great game for his first game in the NFL, but I want to see the running game get back to being dominant. Now, could a lot of that be too? The offensive line's a little older. Yeah, I saw Wyatt Teller give up some blocks today. I saw Batonio get beat a couple times today. DeJuan Jones was kind of hit and miss to me. Jack Conklin got hurt, which unfortunately that's been the thing in his career is injuries, and we had to put 71 out there, the backup, who was okay at times, but a lot of times getting beat. Overall, the offensive line was not that good. I just think at halftime, Joe Flacco threw, I think, had 15 passing attempts. I think it was 11 of 15 at the half. And we threw the ball. He finished with 45 attempts. and he threw the ball 30 times in the second half. And now some of those were, swing passes and stuff like that and short pat to make up for the run because you weren't able to run the ball a lot. But I get that. But still, 30 passing attempts in one half, and you still lost by one, and you only had 16 points to show for it. That's not great. That you gotta. I get the running game wasn't going on in the first half, but I don't feel like they ran the ball enough, especially with Dylan Sampson, especially situationally in the second half. I feel like there was more timely runs they could have had on first, second down. A lot of times it came out on first down. I think both the interceptions were on first down, if I'm not mistaken. I know the one, and it was both when we were trying to, do play action, rolling Flacco out left, and both times both the tackles got beat. Now the one play to Judy, he stepped up in the pocket and threw it, kind of too far out. Judy tried to catch it, the ball got tipped in the air, and that was it. And then the last one, Tillman just clearly dropped it. I thought he should have caught that. Bop just blew out of his hands, or bopped out of his hands, and that was it for that. But the rushing game, to me, it has to be fixed immediately. The rushing attack and the offensive line, that's not good enough. And I think we have to be able to commit to the run more. I don't want to see Flacco throwing the ball 45 times a game. I like to see him 30 to 35, right in that range. If less and you still win, great. That means you're running the ball even at a pretty good clip, if that's the case. But that's my first take from that. I want to see that be a little better. Now, my second take was the secondary in the first half to me was not that good, but I thought in the second half they definitely played a lot better and were really good. I thought they communicated better. I didn't understand the times we ran zone a lot on third down, especially soft too. We ran pretty soft zone. The corners are pretty backed off from the receivers. I'm curious to see what Shorts does next time in the situation to run a little more man and try to push them outside, force them outside, and not give them inside leverage and not or just play soft in zone. I'd like to see some adjustments there. I thought the defensive line was phenomenal. It's what I expect from that defensive line. First drive they went out there, kind of got ran down their throat, but then they stepped up. The front seven, I expect this front seven to be really good all year. And I mean, that one drive was in the fourth quarter was just sack after sack after sack, 3 straight plays led by Myles Garrett, the best defensive player in the world. That's what you want to see. That was great. That Schweitzinger played great. I thought the whole front seven played really well. They took away the run. Mason Graham looked really good in his first game. I was impressed with the front seven, and I thought the whole defense as a whole in the second half was really. I mean, you held them to 7 yards. That's extremely good. So ultimately, it comes down to not being able to run the ball enough, and you get put in situations where you're throwing a lot. And this receiving core already was on. People didn't have a lot of hope in it before the season because you had a lot of improvements outside of Jerry Jeudy, and even Jerry Jeudy today, I thought at times didn't really show up, especially on that third down where he dropped the ball point blank. You get paid almost $20 million a year. I know stuff happens, but you got to catch the ball in that situation. That's what you're paid to do. Now, he did make up for it later on in the game, but still, I just thought there wasn't a whole lot of consistencies from the receiver in which you kind of expect because you got a lot of youth and a lot of unknown. And it's not consistent. You saw that today. They're not consistent in their blocking all preseason. And when you watch the film and then you saw it today at times, like Cedric Tillman got blown up on the one running play. They got tackled for a loss. I can think that one off the top of my head. I mean, they're not very consistent in their overall play. And that's what happens or that's what you saw today. What happens when you're inconsistent, you catch the ball one play, the next play they drop it, or it bops off your hand, bops off your hand, bounces off your hand, excuse me, bounces off your hand. I'm trying to think of the word. I'm still recovering from the game because that was a tough loss. And I didn't get to the cherry on top yet. Wait till I get to that, which you guys already know. But with the kicking. But again, this receiver room, when you have an inconsistent receiver room like that, I don't want Joe Flacco. And I thought Joe Flacco played a great game. Joe Flacco still makes throws that a lot of these younger quarterbacks don't make consistently. That throw he made to Tillman in the back of the end zone, throwing him up. I mean, he made some impressive throws today from Joe Flacco, and you could see why he's been in the league a long time, as long as he has. Still has the arm strength at times when he needs it. He can get it where he needs to go. I thought Flacco played great. I don't blame those 2 interceptions on him, honestly. I think they were just poor execution from the receivers. I just think with the receiver room where it is, with the state of the receiver room where it is right now, I don't want I don't want 45 attempts being thrown to them in a game. I'd rather run the ball a little bit more. Now, I think, again, when we get Quinshon back, that's going to help tremendously. But That's a lot of what I saw today. I think we kind of put ourselves in situations where we were relying on guys that we really didn't have a whole lot of confidence in before the season. Now, again, they still got to show up and make plays. You're professional athletes. You're starting wide receiver. Cedric Tillman technically is a starting wide receiver in the NFL, and actually played pretty well most of the game. It's just in the fourth quarter, the whole group and threat in the second half was just very inconsistent, and that's got to change. That's got to be a lot better, and that's I don't want. We need to get this rushing attack going immediately, because I don't want to be relying on these guys consistently right now, because you can't rely on them right now consistently. You saw that today. It's not a receiver room that we really know a whole lot about yet. So I'd rather get back to running the ball. I know after one game today, I think I know what I have with Dylan Sampson. He's a reliable guy. He can for his size, out in space, can break tackles and can get going. I know what I have in Harold Fannin. If I need to throw more layups to the tight ends and get them the ball, get the ball in his hands, get some yak from those guys, him and the Joku. I like that. I like the kid Raheem Sanders. I like to see him get used a little bit more. Bigger body down the goal line. I like that. We're going to get Quinshawn back. So, let's try that out and try running the ball a lot more. I would have liked to see Raheem Sanders honestly get used a little more today in that second half. Again, 30 passing attempts in the second half. I don't like it. And I think that's why we had so many opportunities, but each drive stalled because of just bad execution. And I think a lot of times it was, I think of that one drive, a lot of those drives, first down, we're going in play action and trying to throw it all the way downfield, and they're sending the house, and these and our offensive line was not able to hold up consistently. How about we run the ball more and try to get some positive yards, and then come back for a second down play where we maybe take a shot or maybe get some play action, gain some more yards, stay on schedule. I think at times situationally our play calling could be a little iffy. Overall today, I didn't think it was terrible, but that's the kind of stuff I want to see change personally. I want to see that more consistent running game. I don't need to throw the ball 45 times around the lot in the game. My last point, like everybody else is probably pissed off about tonight, the main point is we can't find a damn kicker to save our lives. This is the National Football League, and we can't find a kicker. We paid a guy, Dustin Hopkins, I can't remember, it was like a 4-year contract. And that after we paid him, that went to shit. He just stopped making kicks all of a sudden. So then we cut him. We brought in this other guy, Scheidt, I don't know, whatever his name, Schmidt, I think is his name. You can't miss PATs. You saw that cut. And then you can't miss a 38-yard field goal. I saw a kid in high school Friday night kick a 38-yard game winner against a nationally ranked team. I mean, I think it was a second-ranked team in Michigan, and nailed the field goal. You can't. I mean, it's just whenever things go good for the Browns, like we have some things going, games we should win, it always goes bad. And that's why it says the Browns miss again, right here in the thumbnail. Where is it? Browns miss again. They always miss. Whenever it matters most, we screw it up. We miss the opportunity. And this was a great opportunity for them to get out to a great start to the season, build some momentum maybe, and get a win that I thought they should have won this game. I mean, they handed the Bengals this game. The Bengals did not play a good game at all, and we just gave it right to them. I mean, the Browns. It looked like if there was a great tape of say, hey, show me a team that looks like they're trying to lose, I would play this game today. And I know the Browns are trying to lose, but they just find a way to lose. No matter what, it don't matter what they do. We can't find a kicker. And it's unbelievable. We can't find a kicker. And you lose a game by 1 point or by one. If you just had a field goal that was made at the end of the game or just hit your PAT, we go to overtime. Who knows what happens? It's just the little things. Again, can't kick a field goal. Can't kick a extra point. Can't catch the ball consistently. Can't block consistently. Can't run the ball, which is the foundation of your offense. If you can't do all those little basic things, they're going to struggle mightily, because that's like, and again, I like what Kevin said after the game, but I'm really curious to what the attitude of the practice is going to be during this week, during the press conferences and stuff like that, because all these little things that keep adding up. I feel like I've repeated this over and over the past 4 years of covering this team with Kevin Stefanski at the helm. It always comes down to the little things that we always lose on. And that, to me, that's kind of a cultural problem. There are a lot of great teams, great organizations make the playoffs consistently, have consistent success. They don't lose games consistently like that with the little things like we do. We lose them all the time, the little things. And it goes back to not having a clean operation, which is what Kevin said. Here's Kevin after the game. Here's what he had to say.
Very, very disappointing to come away with a loss in that game. Can't be -2 versus a good football team, and that's really the story of the football game. Tip balls, and we got to play cleaner. Now, there's 1,000 things that we can do better from a coaching staff, from a player standpoint, but we have to do a better job securing that rock. We obviously missed a field goal, missed an extra point. Those are points in these type of games that you have to come away with. So, it hurts, and you don't when you feel like you're doing some good things. Now, having said that, you have a division game next week, right back at it. So this team understands that these hurt, but we'll learn from it. We'll watch the tape. We'll recommit to the thing and understand that we have to do a better job in a bunch of different areas. But really proud of a lot of the performance from these guys, proud of effort from these guys. But it's just frustrating not to ultimately go out there, frustrating not to come away with a win. But with that, I'll take.
Yeah, and it hurts more when you lose the way they lost. Couldn't do the basic fundamental little things. And so that's all it came down to today for the Browns. They just couldn't do basic fundamental things that they have to have for them to win any game this year, no matter I don't care who they're playing against. Because that's their formula. It was running the ball, good offensive line play, right? The stuff we're supposed to be getting back to this year. Not throwing the ball 45 times in a game. And obviously kicking's a very basic fundamental. You can't make your kicks. I mean, we really got a big problem, which we have now. We've had this kicker problem for a while now. So that's my take on it. But I'll get to my guests here, get them up here in a second. Run through these comments real fast. Shout out to Tune In Sports at Salute. I was looking at the scoreboard. I thought the Browns was going to pull off a win for a minute. That's how it always goes, too. We think we're going to pull it off, brother, and it all just goes downhill from there, and we end up losing. Tori, good to see you. So get rid of that kicker. Yeah. Yeah. Please find us a kicker, please. I can't imagine Flacco starting all season. We'll see. Humble. I mean, we'll see. I don't like him getting hit as much as he got hit today. I mean, I don't think they gave a lot of sacks. I'll have to look at the numbers, but there was a lot of pressure on in the backfield. But he looked pretty good, though. Flacco did not look 40 today to me. I thought he looked pretty good. I thought he threw the ball really well. I was pretty impressed with Flacco. I thought he played good enough, really good enough for them to win. I just think some other areas they just didn't, show up and do well. Receivers need to catch the ball. Yes, they do. Jeremy's in the house. I think he'll be up here in a second. Sure. Chantel's in the house as well. Store needs to go to Miami. Browns need to trade. Need a veteran. Is Cade York available? Do we bring back Cade York? I don't know. Ro, good to see you. He said Hopkins line 1. Yeah, let's bring back Dustin Hopkins. Maybe he'll reincarnate to 2023 Dustin Hopkins. But yeah, so I don't want to keep these guys waiting. Let's get to it. So joining me now is the man, the myth, the legend, the professional fan, Sir Michael Antonis. Mike.
Hello, beautiful people. Hello, Joseph. How are you this evening?
Also joining us, Mike. It was his birthday yesterday. Jersey's in the house.
Hello.
What's happening?
Also
Mikey.
joining us, part of the fix, Chris Gerganis is in the house.
Gergs.
What up?
And then last but not least, with a very
It was
special
also my
guest.
birthday yesterday, too.
Yes, it was.
Yes, it was. My bad. And
Happy
birthday to both
belated,
of you
Chris.
guys. Happy belated birthday to Chris in Jersey. I forgot you guys had the birthday the same day. And then also joining us with a very special guest is we need Phil Dawson back. Lynch is in the house with his son Luca.
See you. What's going on, everybody? You say
Hello,
hi.
hello.
Say hi. Say hi, dude. Yesterday was Joe's birthday. Can you say happy birthday? Are you gonna be shy now? You were just talking up a storm.
But
what did you think of the Brownies' performance today, buddy? Yeah, I thought so too.
yeah, not a whole lot to say after that game. Just disbelief. Dad's also, he said, Tully scored 16 points, one of the worst defense in the NFL, is alarming for the rest of the season. Who are we going to blame for the play calling this year? Mike, I'll start with you. Professional fan, what was your overall reaction to today's game?
Special teams needs to be better. I don't know if Bubba Ventrone is responsible for evaluating the kicking position or if whoever does that, but they need to take a long look in the mirror. Bubba Ventrone special teams units outside of that one Linsanity run Hopkins had have been left something to be desired. I think Ventrone long term, I don't know if he's going to be the special teams coordinator, but if he's going to remain the job, I mean, here, maybe give Schmidt another week or two. I get it. Lights were bright. This was his first NFL game, but if you're going to be a starting kicker in the NFL, you have to make PATs and a 36-yard go-ahead field goal that every other kicker makes 99.5% of the time. Like, got to make the kicks. Those 4 points left on the board, that's the game right there. But some good notes. I thought the offense moved the ball exceedingly better than every game I watched last year. So that's a plus. Flacco looked good. He looked efficient. I know the scorecard says he has 2 picks, but I'd put those picks more on the receiver. I don't think anybody's going to argue with me there. Both were those weird pop-ups where the Bengals came up with it. Got to catch the ball. I thought outside of that, the receivers overall played okay. Tillman had some good catches, including the 1 touchdown catch. Tight end unit looks awesome. Harold Fannin Jr. looks awesome. And that's the other thing I kind of want to highlight is all the young guys looked great. Dylan Sampson, while I don't think he's going to be RB1, I think as RB2, as the running mate to Quinshawn, he's going to be great for a long time. He's got exactly what you want from an RB2. He's a great pass catcher. He can catch the ball from check down position, turn it into positive yardage. He had many of those where it went for 5 to 8 yards, what you need, little chunk plays here and there. Carson Schwessinger, my dude, finished the day with 8 tackles and 3 TFLs. So as advertised, really happy that he had such a great game. A couple things in coverage he needs to clean up, but it's his first game as a rookie. Mason Graham also was very disruptive, but again, a couple missed tackles, things he can clean up, but he was getting in the backfield pretty regularly. Let's see. And I'm looking through my notes. Yeah, Dylan Sampson was excellent. Harold Fannin was excellent. I mean, overall, like I'm going to kind of parrot what Joseph said a little bit about the O-line. They just look a little old. I thought the pass protection overall was very okay. The run blocking needs to be a little bit better. Harold Fannin and a couple of the receivers, like Joseph said, missed a couple of key blocks that could have turned negative run plays into positives. Overall, though, disappointing game. It's a shame, especially when like you absolutely should have won that game. But not the end of the world. And this isn't a year that none of us, I think, we would be very, very good. But there are some positive signs, and I'm look forward to seeing what the young guys got, especially next week when Quinshawn is going to be playing. Excited to see what that run game looks like with our RB1 for the next 4 or 5 years, hopefully. But I was shocked to see how good Flacco played, man. That was a big worry for me. Honestly, if those balls don't tip, I mean, I don't doubt he would have finished the day with like 2 touchdowns, no picks. He was exceedingly efficient. And overall, I thought the play calling was all right.
What did you think of the 30 pass attempts in the second half?
Yeah, I don't know if that he was going with the flow of the game because they kept getting like little okay runs, like of 3-4 yards. I don't know if they were worried that they were overusing Sampson and Jerome just couldn't get going. And like you said, if they thought that, I would have at least put Raheem out there for a couple of runs and see if he could have gotten something because, maybe it was just Sampson was getting used almost on every play. He was getting beat up a little bit. They didn't want him running the rock, and maybe they thought he was the only guy that could do it. But I definitely would have wanted to see Raheem Sanders run it. I get if they were a little worried about Ford. That's the only reason I could think of. Or maybe Flacco, they really thought he was going to, he was hitting a stride, hitting a flow. I don't know, but hopefully when Quinshawn comes back, we'll see 20 carries from him, easy. Maybe another another 10 to 11 from Dylan. But yeah, I'm excited to see what that running back room looks like. I would not be shocked though when Quinshawn comes back if Raheem Sanders is RB3, because I didn't love what I saw from Jerome Ford today. A couple times it wasn't his fault, but same old shit from Jerome Ford. Just has the vision, the vision of like a cocker spaniel out there, bro. You can't see nothing as far as like finding the freaking gap. So, disappointed, yeah, for sure, but not the end of the world, and excited to see what the young guys got. The young guys impressed me today, our rookie class so far.
Well, go ahead, Jersey.
Well, here it just comes down to 30 pass attempts second half. Why was it 30 pass attempts? Because they just couldn't run the fucking ball. They abandoned the run. They weren't running the ball in the first half, and they got to be able to run the ball. If you're able to run the ball in the second half, you're getting more possession of time, which that was already lopsided. But you don't have to, maybe you don't throw those picks. You know what I mean? If you got so much more can happen when you establish the run. I mean, look at Baltimore right now, just absolutely just destroying Buffalo with the run. I mean, it's amazing what the run is. So, yeah, you could say in the turnovers, but I mean that's the game. But the underlying cause, I think, is not being able to establish the run. Forces you to throw the ball too much, and every time you throw the ball, there's a chance that you're going to get a pick, you're going to get tipped, especially those receivers. I don't. That's here. Whoever the hell is
Chad O'Shea.
Whoever is this. Yeah, I mean, whoever's evaluating these kickers need evaluating.
Oh, you're talking about the I did about the receivers. I thought you were gonna say who's the coach of the receiver room.
Well, then I'm going to them too.
Because I've seen a lot. The preseason to me, I saw a lot of bad blocking on film. I saw a lot of inconsistency. I mean, what we saw today.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. But those two, whoever's deciding this is our kicker, that person needs their head examined. And then Chad O'Shea, I mean, these guys, they need to put these guys to work all week with catching the balls. It seems like it's every year. And so, and Flacco can't be throwing the ball that many. That's 40 years old. He can't have 40 pass attempts a fucking game. He just, you know what I mean? Can't do it. So, I think, I would always love to see more passes downfield, but I probably can't really do that with 40-year-old quarterback and to get the ball out of his hands quicker, which is what they did. I don't hate the play calling other than the fact that I always want to balance, you know what I mean, or heavy run. So, but here, the rookies look great. I mean,
I know you like Fannin a lot today.
Wow, Harold Fannin, man. I was sitting there thinking in my mind, I'm gonna get this cat's jersey. That dude, wow. I mean, hit the nail right on the head with him.
And what'd you think of Dylan Sampson? I know you love running backs.
Sampson looked good. I mean, he was productive. You know what I mean? And he grinded out some yards with an O-line that wasn't really blocking real well. So he grinded out some yards. He was catching balls out of the flat. He was getting yards after the catch. He's breaking tackles.
Mm-hmm.
I was really happy with it. And then Schweisinger. So, I mean, they're draft picks. I mean, if you continue to get this kind of production, and if Judkins is doing the same thing, which he should be doing, I mean, it'd actually be a draft where they actually, you could say they did a great job. So, other than, what's his name? Dude, cat from Oregon, thought still.
Oh, Dylan Gabriel.
Yeah, Dylan Gabriel. So, but, here, better than any game last year. Should have won the game. That was their game to win. easily. But got to run the ball. Got to run the ball first and foremost, and then throwing the ball too much, you're gonna throw picks. So
Yeah.
pretty much it.
B Skrills, shout out to you. Said salute, fellas. Good to see you, B Skrills. Gergs, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, it just goes back to just bad teams find ways to lose. You know, I mean, it's just good teams find ways to win, and bad teams they just find ways to lose. And wow, Cleveland did it today. I mean, they dominated the game and lost.
Yeah.
Right.
Man.
I don't. That's a rough one. It's a rough one. I don't. I mean, when their best offense is their defense. I mean, that, in my opinion, I mean, name a worse wide receiver room in the NFL. You can't. I mean, I can't name one.
Yeah, it's all a bunch of unprovens.
I mean, I mean, you have a quarterback that played well today. He did well, but Jerome Ford, I think that you guys are finally starting to realize what I've told you for the last 2 years, that dude stinks.
Well,
he just stinks.
I don't think Jerome ever really developed here. I think Jerome knows. Here, I heard his old coach said that they never liked Jerome to begin with, and Jerome knows he's going to be out here soon, and they don't want him here soon. So I don't. Jerome Ford really, they should just move off him already. I don't think he would probably like that as well.
Yeah. I mean, who wants?
But the guy didn't forget how to play
truly
football
be in
from what you
Cleveland?
saw out of college. He came in the wrong situation. And they end up firing his coach after his rookie year. And after that happened, it's like, let's get this guy out of here because we don't really like him. They're doing him a disservice, and they need to just move off him already.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I mean, here, that's the thing. I mean, Dylan Sampson, I think, played well.
Mm-hmm.
I think Fannin did well. I think that Flacco played well. I think the defense played lights out. I mean, holy crap. 7 total yards in the second half versus one of the best offenses in the NFL. They dominated the line of scrimmage, which is, in football, the most important thing to do is dominate the line of scrimmage. And yet they lost. And I don't know if you're Cleveland, if you're going to play that well again all year and you still lost. And I just think that sets up a long year of Browns watching.
Well, and I think too, if you can't, I mean, you know this, Gerg, because you love the running game too, especially with being a Michigan fan the last 3 years. If your DNA is running the ball first and you can't run the ball consistently like they couldn't today, you're going to get in these situations where it comes down, you're relying on a kicker to hopefully make a kick.
Yeah, and
like the little margin, like the little like it really came down to a kick today, and that's crazy.
And it's amazing to me how, like, I mean, this Tyler Loop kid from Baltimore, they just had one of the best kickers ever. Whatever, he has issues. They draft this kid in the 6th round. I mean, he's on Sunday Night Football, just nailed a 52-yarder, made both of his extra points, looks great. I just don't understand how. I mean, yeah, whatever, Hanku, whatever, Chu, whatever for the Falcons today, missed a game-tying field goal.
Yeah.
It's amazing to me how kickers, it's their one job and they miss 30-yarders.
There's definitely something wrong in the development of kickers nowadays compared to 10 years ago.
I don't get it. And I wouldn't be too sure, Mike, that Junkins will be back next week. I know that he could, but he is meeting with the NFL this week, and we'll see if he gets a suspension. I don't see Junkins coming back for a while, and not to mention, there's no way he's ready for 20 carries next week anyways.
No. He don't know any of the system. He didn't go through any camp, nothing. He don't know a play.
So I wouldn't be hoping and thinking that Junkins is just going to come in and play, and run the ball 20 times next week either. And to be honest with you, I don't know how much that will matter anyways. Good luck. This was their chance to win, and they dominated everything and still lost, and that is just hard. It's hard to swallow if you're a Browns fan, for sure.
Yeah, I think too. We may, if this continues the rest of the season, they may have to look to shift that offensive line in certain positions to get a little younger. Could you trade Wyatt Teller at some point? Pochich even. I thought Luke Whipwrecker actually really good one preseason for a younger rookie. Could you move those guys at some point, get younger? Because what I saw today, they look pretty old Gergs. They just couldn't. They couldn't move the line of scrimmage like they used to. They just couldn't. They were slow get out in their poles. I mean, they just could not. And if they can't run the ball, they're not going to. They're screwed. That's their whole bait. That's their foundation of their offense. And really, any team. I mean, you got to control the line of scrimmage. And if you don't do that, you get put in situations like today.
Exactly. But again, I don't. I mean, you're not working with much. Yeah, he just bangs a 49-yarder. It's like, oh, I don't get it. I don't get how kickers are either just so good or so bad, and how some teams just find the great ones every single time. It's just amazing. But yeah, I just my thought is 3-4 wins. I just, oh man, I just, when I was watching that game, I'm like, there's no way they're losing the game. They are dominating the Bengals. Like, they're just dominating them. They dominated the line of scrimmage. Myles Garrett was just always in their face. Mason Graham was in the backfield. I mean, Mike Sky, I don't know how you could play better if you're the Browns defensively, and yet you still lost. And it's going to be a long year. So
I agree.
I don't know. I don't know why I guess my point is I think you are going to see the young quarterbacks probably by week 8, because what is the point of keeping Flacco in when you're not going to go far? You got to see what you have, and then you can kind of go from there as far as Stefanski keeping his job somehow, because that dude should have been fired 3 years ago, but here he is, still there. So maybe he'll see these young talent all the way through, and in 5 years he'll still be on the Browns. I don't know.
Shout out to Z Corp Alpha. Thanks for the super chat. Shout out to you. Really nice. Said release Flacco. He's already calling the release Flacco, but shout out to you. Thank you so much for your generous donation. Thank you very much. Sure. Dan said scoring 16 points does not win you in NFL games, and we don't don't get to play a defense as shitty as them every week. It's going to be a long year.
Mm-hmm.
Jeremy, thanks for being patient, my friend. The floor is yours. What was your take on today's game?
It was trash. I mean, I'm sitting there at Sky Zone with the little man, and lucky for me, I got to watch it on their big jumbotron screen that they have in there. So I really got a great view of the lack of focus on the offense from the receiving core. Because anytime you have passes that are dropped like that in clutch situations, it's a focus issue. I mean, you go 3rd and 5, wide open, drop it. 4th and 5, wide open. I can understand if the balls were put in bad spots, but he hit them right on the numbers in the chest. You are an NFL wide receiver getting paid millions of dollars to do it. You should catch the ball. I understand it's week 1, but you've had all training camp and preseason to work this shit out. You should be ready to go. It's just irritating you have, I was driving for the fourth quarter. I was driving on the way home, listening to it on the radio, and the announcer goes, "I don't think there's ever been a time in NFL history that a defense has held a team to 7 yards in the second half of a game and lost that football game." So that'd be an interesting thing to double check to see if it's ever happened. A defense holds a team to 7 total yards in the second half of a game and
Well, I got
still loses.
the stat right here. I'll just to go off. It says from ESPN Research, the Browns held the Bengals to 7 yards in the second half. It's the fewest yards in the second half by a winning team in the last 25 years.
Yeah.
So there you go.
I mean, we are the bad news Browns, baby. Literally, the Browns are Murphy's Law. If it can go wrong, it will go wrong. That's how I feel. Like the last 3 or 4 years, it's just been like, 2 years ago, it's dumb penalties and nonsense, knucklehead plays. Last year, it's the same thing. I get like the holding calls. You're going up against Trey Hendrickson, who's one of the best rush ends. So, I mean, I'll give DeJuan Jones a little bit of leeway there. He's trying not to get his 41-year-old quarterback killed. I get that. But we start this year and we can't catch the ball. Defense got some great penetration. The secondary we're ball hawking all day. In the second half, never let Joe Burrow get comfortable, get into a rhythm, which, I mean, I don't know. Samson looked good. Whenever he had a little bit of space, he seems to be shifty and he's got a knack for finding the hole on some of his runs. So that's one thing to take away. And Fannin looks like he's going to be a beast. But Judy and Tillman need to step up in big situations. That's what they're getting paid to do.
Yeah, I agree. Shout out to Humble. He said, "Oh yeah, George. He heard you're not the biggest Mike McDaniel's fan, and they got absolutely blown out today by Indianapolis." He said, "What's your thoughts?" Shank, thanks for the $1.99. Humble, thank you.
I mean, this guy should be a cheerleading coach. I mean, this guy, what the hell else you think is going to happen with this goon, this little frickin' pansy on the sideline? I mean, I can't believe I'm watching a professional football game and I see this guy standing on the sideline. It just really reminds me that it's 2025 or it's 2024, whatever the hell I'd see him on TV. But I mean, what the hell is going on down there to this guy where this guy gets to keep a job? I mean, it's just mind blowing. I mean, I'll just keep it. I'm gonna keep it clean tonight.
Yeah.
The
spreadsheets.
Luca went to bed. He's not sitting here anymore, so you could say it if
Well, we got other people watching too, but Mike McDaniel's to me is everything that's wrong with football in the modern day. I mean, it's just a shame. It's an absolute shame. It's an insult to the game. It just shows you it's all about who knows who. Because this guy, I mean, I wouldn't let him do shit for me. Dealership, I wouldn't let him be a porter. I couldn't even look at this guy seriously. I wouldn't let him do anything.
You're not a fan of those capri pants?
Hell no. What the hell kind of who wears capri? We got men wearing capri pants. Are you kidding me? Purses, capri pants. I mean, my gosh. What the heck? Again, everything that's wrong in 2025.
Carry around his man bag on the sideline.
Yeah, no, there's no more men anymore. Men are going away.
Yeah. Chris, real quick. B Scrolls, he had the Lions. He said the Lions look mediocre today. What's your thoughts on the Lions, real quick?
Yeah, I mean they came out and they got their butts kicked. I mean, there's really no slicing it. Our offense. I mean, Green
I didn't get
Bay's
to watch
defense.
that game. Yeah, what'd you think of Green Bay with Parsons? How'd that look? I didn't get to watch it.
Parsons really didn't. I mean, he got a sack late when it was out of hand. But I mean, he probably played 15, 20 snaps. I mean, they were highlighting him. You know, Tony Romo and Jim Nantz. They were highlighting him like he was some second coming of Jesus. But you know that's just obviously for talk more than anything. Yeah, I mean Rashad Gary. I mean they have a good. They're going to have a good pass rush. There's no doubt. We just lost the line of scrimmage, as I've said. With the Browns dominating the line of scrimmage today, the NFL, it's about the line of scrimmage, and Sewell did great. Our interior, we have 3 new interior offensive linemen, and they took it to us today. We couldn't run the ball real well effectively, and that's just a recipe for disaster. And that's just how it goes.
Mike, I'm gonna swing it back to you. To the Browns now. What did you think, Mike? Or not? What do you think? But I already know what you think. But Mike, what should they do with the kicker situation now? How many weeks are you giving this guy? I don't even know who's on the market that could even look at Mike to bring in.
I mean, they could pull kickers from pretty much anywhere. I mean, there's a slew of UDFA kickers. You could pull like UFL is where we got the Smith guy. You could try a different UFL kicker. I mean, there are people. There are ways. Like it doesn't have to be like a known name. I mean, I'd bring in someone just to the practice squad right now. I'd bring in someone to the practice squad right now. Like I wouldn't like pull this kid like after 1 week, but I'd send someone to the practice squad to get ready just in case he, underperforms and doesn't do his job in week 2. And then at that point, I'm having a true honest to God evaluation. But in my opinion, I'd probably pull somebody into the practice squad right now, UFL kicker, UDFA kicker, somebody who just aged out of college. I mean, there's a ton of different options the Browns could explore in order to, remedy that situation. But I mean, he lost us the game, so I'm not the happiest with him. But like, it has been 1 week, but at the same time, it's like that's your one job. You're a kicker. You know what I mean? Like, and the 2 kicks he missed, like it's different if like it would have been, hey, it's a 52-yard field goal and this is to win the game and this is your first NFL game ever, right? But he missed a PAT and he missed a go-ahead 35-yard field goal. Like I'd bring someone into the practice squad immediately just to be like, hey, bring.
I mean, what do you have to look? He said, Dancy, you can find just about anyone to miss kicks.
Besides me from 30 and in.
Oh, you're like that?
Oh, I'm straight money.
Wow. We need to. Okay, we'll get Chris in there then.
From 30 and in, we have videos.
Chris kind of looks like that one kicker that Indianapolis had for a while.
I'm straight money.
You know who I'm talking about?
You better believe it.
He said Boswell nailed a 60-yard game winner. Did he actually?
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
But again, here at the end of the day, there was still about 2 minutes, 52 seconds left on the clock when he.
Yeah, they had they had 2 minutes with the ball and Tillman dropped it.
It was. I mean, yes, the kicker missed the kicks. You got to make those kicks. but that's not the only reason why they lost. I mean,
Well, that's a great
Well, I
segue.
mean, the 2 deflects to picks, yeah, but like at the same token,
Well, that's a
like,
great segue,
you leave
though, right
points on
here.
the board.
Here's Myles Garrett after the game.
No, I feel like it's saying something to situation, especially if you don't know them that well. You don't know if you're adding unnecessary pressure, if he's already in that mindset, and there's going to be situations like this again, and he's going to make those kicks, and and we're going to be better for it. We're going to win those games. So there's no more scrutiny on him than the rest of us. No, we didn't have to be in that position. We could have came out faster on defense and picked it up earlier. And it's a team game, and we all have to play together.
Yeah, and like you said there, I like what he said. We shouldn't even put him in the position to begin with, because you look at how many opportunities they had in that second half jersey. We were sitting there watching the game together with Mike, and I said after they they came out the first drive in the second half, scored the touchdown, right? They missed the field goal, but you're still up. They had stop after stop after stop, and that Bengals offense was ice cold. And how many opportunities did you have to go down and add more points on the board? And really, if you think about it, they would have scored another touchdown today. Just had one drive, you would have won the game. You kept giving it away after you let them come back, and you let them hang around with all the opportunities you had, and this is what happens. You're relying on a rookie kicker.
I think the dagger I felt like watching a game was when Jerry Jeudy drops that pass,
missed
turnover on downs.
Yep.
I felt like that was the play. At that moment, I felt like we were losing the game.
I did. Because I looked at you, because that's what I looked at. I said, no, they're blowing up, because they were rolling on that drive too.
Yeah, but ultimately they lost the game because they couldn't run the ball. So, because if they could run the ball, and let's just say, gosh, they rushed for 150 yards. I mean, the way Flacco was throwing the ball and Fanning and Sam's, the way they're running, they already got more points on the board. You know what I mean? They don't have to leave it all on this kicker. So you got to run. It's just like I just saw the stat line. Fucking Detroit would rush for 46 yards. Is that what it said? Okay, they lost the game. They scored 13 points. In any football game, you have to run the ball. That's just football. And so they got to really, maybe get some youth on that offensive line. If they're going to do it now, so they can build chemistry throughout the season. But it was just, zero run game, and that's what it boils down to. It always boils down to that. And here, if this kicker would have if he comes back next week and kicks a 50-something yarder, we don't even care about this anymore. But here, if they can't run the ball next week again, you're gonna have the same result. So,
didn't he make a 50-yarder today?
Our kicker?
Yeah, like 40. It was a 46-yarder, something like that.
Okay, 46. My bad.
All right.
Yeah. So I mean, you can't. Your goal is to never leave it in the kicker's hands. You know what I mean?
No, that's what I'm saying. It should never have been in that. Like, I thought what Miles said was right on the cue. Like, and shout out to Q Dog's in the house. He said making excuses. Joe threw 2 low balls. Receivers had to scoop. This is an NCAA punt, kick, field goal. QB and coach decisions were trash. I thought Joe played a pretty good enough game for them to win. I don't think it was on Flacco why they lost. I just think it was.
Listen, those balls have to be caught. I've seen.
Jerry Jeudy should have caught that ball.
Yeah.
Cedric Tillman should have caught that ball. And Tillman had to drop last year in Game 3. Remember that one against the Giants?
If you watch enough football, you see some of the catches a lot of these receivers have made. Hell, not just receivers, running backs, tight ends, some of the things these guys can do. Those were gimme passes. Again, I don't care about the picks. Jerry Jeudy, turnover on downs, a quick slant right on the numbers. He's wide open. The guy, fucking defenders 3-4 feet away from him, and this asshole can't catch a ball. That was a defining moment in the game. So it wasn't Flacco. You know what I mean?
How much did they pay him, Jerry Jeudy?
Was it Mike almost 20
stacks?
$18 million a year.
Wow.
Yeah, he can't.
To touch on that, Chris, I don't know the guy's name. You probably know it. But if the rookie white guy for the Lions can reel in that one-handed pass and get both feet in bounds, Jerry Jeudy can catch a ball that's thrown above his knees.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
That hits him in stride.
There's so many things you can point to and you cannot blame the kicker in this instance. You can't really blame the kicker ever. They're kickers, right? Obviously they should make their kicks, but I mean, you scored 16 points, you had 300 and some total yards of offense. You had your chances to win that game time after time after time after time with the defense playing the way it is, and you lost.
They had 71 to 49 plays.
I mean, the recipe to beat the Cleveland Browns is very simple. Score 20 points. Because the Browns won't do it. They won't score 20 points, not with this offense. The offense just isn't good. It's probably the worst offense in the NFL. It really is. They got a 40-year-old quarterback, an aging offensive line, mediocre running backs at best, and mediocre wide receivers at best. It just is what it is. Their defense is great. If they do win, it's going to be because of the defense, and that's just what the Cleveland Browns are. But I just don't understand why Stefanski has a job, because he's supposed to be the offensive guru, and his offense hasn't averaged over 20 points in how many years?
A while.
It just doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense to me how you could be an offensive minded coach and you can put Jerry Jeudy as your number one receiver and Cedric Tillman as your number two receiver, and then you got two rookie quarterbacks. You just signed one yesterday. I don't even know how that even happens. Like, it's just dysfunction. And, Jersey said he knew right away once Jerry Jeudy dropped that ball in the fourth quarter. I knew the Browns were going to lose when they kicked the ball off to start the game. Because the Browns just lose. They're just a bad football team.
Yeah. Lynch, how long do you think do we give this offensive line with these older guys? Wyatt Teller, you got Pochich. Obviously, Petone is going to retire. You're not going to move him. But Jack Conklin's hurt again today. Unfortunately, he likes to get hurt, but he's hurt. He's been injury prone. I thought Luke Whippler out of Ohio State, the center, looked really well in the preseason. You got some other guys like Zinner who can throw out there, younger. I mean, at one point, everybody talks about, I think it's kind of similar when the O-line, the quarterback situation. Everybody talks about how long you can let Flacco go out there till you put the younger guys out there eventually. I think the same thing with the offensive line, Lynch. How long are we giving this offensive line until we start maybe we'll move Wyatt Teller and maybe Pochich and get these young guys out there. Maybe they play a little better.
Game 3, game 4. I mean, we have, 2 first-round picks again this year?
Yeah.
Coming up. So you can free up some cap, try to move a few pieces, acquire a few more picks. I mean, Flacco's obviously this probably his last year. And then you're looking at the pretty boy Gabriel or Shador next year if they don't go get somebody or decide to draft a third quarterback in 2 seasons, which would be a very Browns thing to do. All the stuff was all after this season, or they're going to go after Arch Manning. Well, Arch Manning didn't look very good in his first 2 games. The arm talent doesn't look that great. Looks like he has a weak arm, but he could have a shoulder injury. So maybe move some of the veteran pieces, try to free up some cap space or bench them and let the young guys get reps and try to. I know it's week 1, but prepare for next year. I guess you say try to see how things go this season.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. We're already after one game. You could just tell by watching
Well,
it today.
I hate to say that, prepare for next year, but realistically speaking, if you look at the pieces of the puzzle that we have, that was kind of our expectation going into this season was,
Mhm.
okay, it's going to suck. We might win, 4 or 5 games? Today was a game you had to steal. We couldn't steal that and gave up 7 yards in the second half. Okay, so that kind of puts the rest of the season in perspective because none of the opponents are going to get any easier.
No, like Dan said
We
right
have
here.
a brutal schedule.
Wait until they play against the real defense. It's going to be very telling. We will be
Yeah,
tank
it's gonna
mode by
be-
week 9.
Wait till we play the Ravens or wait till we play, Green Bay. I mean, I'm calling it. Micah Parsons, week 3, is going to put Joe Flacco on a stretcher because DeJuan Jones ain't going to be able to keep up with him. And by that
Dude.
time, Micah's going to have his body back in game shape.
Dude, Baltimore looks dominant. My gosh.
And that's who we play next week, Jersey.
Good grief.
I mean,
I
they
know.
are just marching. I got it right here. They're just up and down the field, up and down the field. But can we also take a second?
Dude, look at this block.
Every single season for the last
It wasn't
5
that big of a
years,
block.
there's been huge question marks with the Browns, right?
Mm-hmm.
Knucklehead stuff, execution issues,
And they address none of them.
stagnant offense. Who is responsible for making sure that the X's and the O's function the way they're supposed to?
The head coach.
Why the fuck is he still our head coach? Sorry for the F-bomb. I apologize.
Because his agent is good buddies with the owner.
There's a root to every problem, right? You don't just get a root canal just
All
one
right.
day.
All right, we're not talking dentistry.
If you
here,
don't
Dave.
brush your teeth, shit's going to happen. If
Yeah.
you don't prepare 5 seasons in a row, if the X's and the O's ain't Xing and O'ing, you got to make a change. At some point. If we start this season 0-6, 0-7, they got to do something.
It's just funny to me how we were all prepared for the Browns to just absolutely suck. and yet they still found a way week 1 to disappoint. It's just the Browns way. It's like, all right, guys, we're going into this game. We know we're going to lose because we know we suck. And then they're like, oh, wow, they're dominating this game. Holy crap. And then they lose. And it's like they found a way to still disappoint. It's just the Cleveland way.
Yeah, it's the letdown is like, yeah, you sit there, you see the defense play like that, and you're like, holy shit, yeah, we're gonna win this game. It's the Bengals. We're gonna win this game. And then the shoe drops. And you're actually like let down. I was actually like let down. Like I think I said before the season they're gonna win like 3 or 4 games. I was actually like let down. Like we were watching, I was just like,
and it's the same. And
I don't know if it's the fan in me, but you're like, gosh, dude, they outplayed these clowns and then just lose.
They dominated them.
Yeah.
You know how back in, what was it, the 60s, it was called the Cardiac Kids?
Early 80s.
Early 80s.
Early 80s. They called them the Cardiac Kids because it'd be a nail biter, but they'd find a way to win the game, right?
Yeah.
The last 5 years, we've been the Prozac Kids. because they find a way to get you excited about it, even though you have zero expectations. It makes everybody depressed after the game.
Yeah.
Not a sponsor.
They need to start playing SSRI ads when the Browns play on the television, because all the Browns fans are going to need it by the end of the season.
They just need to just play other games. I mean, it's just horrible. I can't believe how good that defense played. After that opening drive that Cincinnati just ran the ball down their throat. But after that, they've just, I mean, you held Jamar Chase, you held T. Higgins, you held Joe Burrow. You did everything that, like, if you look and didn't watch the game and you just looked at the paper, you'd be like, oh my gosh, the Browns probably won by 10, 15, 20, and they lost. Like, I don't understand. I honestly don't understand how they lost that game. I honestly think they're the only team that could have lost that game. They dominated it. You don't hold the Joe Burrow offense and that Cincinnati offense where it is with the defense that they have. It sucks. So all you have to beat the Bengals, you just have to hold their offense. Yet they did that and still lost. I can't even.
As B Scroll says, I'd rather spend my Sundays drunk at the MGM casino than sitting at home and watching this shit. Comment of the night.
Just burning up money.
Yeah.
Just burning up. Don't even give a shit.
His blame game is all of your live, bro. Sheesh. 2026 is all you hear about. It gets annoying. Well, here's the thing, though, guys. The Browns made it that way. We've been Browns fans long before a lot of people in this chat today, or have been following the Browns a long time. And there's a reason why we're all 5 of us are up here saying what we're saying tonight, because, like you just said, Jeremy, this isn't the first time we've seen this. This happens every year, damn near 80% of the time, every game. It's the same stuff. And it's like you said, Jerry, what's the root cause? And so reason why people talk about next year is because the root cause of a lot of these issues has never been addressed from the front office down.
And they're never going to find their future. I'm sick of hearing, the Browns have to find their future quarterback. The Browns have to find their future quarterback.
It don't matter if you can't develop them.
Exactly. It's a culture thing. Until you fix the culture, you're not going to be able to find anyone of a future quarterback. It's just the way it is. I mean, here, Aaron Rodgers goes to the Jets. The Jets stink. I mean, everyone knows their culture stinks. Aaron Glenn's trying to change it. He looks terrible. He goes to Pittsburgh today, throws 4 touchdowns, looks great. I mean, it's a culture thing. It's development. It's all
look what happened to
these
Sam
things that
Darnold.
go into it. All these quarterbacks have talent. You're not in the NFL as a quarterback with having no talent. You don't get drafted with no talent. It's what you do with that talent, developing them, putting them in the right situations, all those things that make them all pro and other things. Now, obviously, there's out of this world talent like Patrick Mahomes and whatever, but you don't miss on how many 30 quarterbacks. It's just simply you. Like, you can't just draft quarterback after quarterback and then just they all suck. At some point, it's like
it's a reflection of you.
Yeah,
you can't buy you just yeah. And I'm glad you brought that, because I hear this all the time with other, I'm not gonna say any names, but other content creators that cover the Browns on the internet and on the media, and they always say that. Well, they just need their franchise quarterback. If we just insert a guy in here, everything would just change. Do you think if we would have drafted Patrick Mahomes in 2017, he'd be the same player he is today?
Not at all.
He sat for a year in Kansas City and developed under Andy Reid with Alex Smith, a great vet, and he became Patrick Mahomes. He had the talent. We had a lot of guys here that had talent. I mean, look at Baker had talent, but he didn't last year. And look what he did today down in there in Tampa. What he's done the last couple of years. He got to a right culture. Look what happened to him. He became who he is now. You can pay him that franchise kind of money. He could be your guy. You can win with him. It ain't happening here because, like you said, and I got a comment. She said the last thing they need to worry about is a future quarterback, and worry about getting wide receivers and linemen, and the run game first. And I agree with that, Chantel. I think we're taking even another layer, Chantel, which I don't care who you draft, who you put out there, or any of that. If the other stuff ain't right, like Gerg just talking about, none of it's going to matter because it'll be the same result. We bought wide receivers. We traded Odell Beckham. We went out and got him in his prime. Came here, was an absolute bust in Cleveland. We went out and tried to buy Deshaun Watson. Came here, absolute disaster. That's the mentality though. That's it, not only on the internet. What I was talking about, it's a reflection of the organization. They think they can just buy the players that are proven and guys that we can just put them in here and it'll just work. But it's not working. Every time they come here, when we try to buy guys like that, they don't pan out. When we try to draft guys, a lot of times, especially a quarterback, they don't pan out. At some point, something you're doing is wrong, and it's a reflection of you because it can't just be. It's not everybody else's fault. At some point, you got to take accountability. But again, what is Jimmy Haslam? Who has his ear most of the time? There you go.
Yeah, exactly. But again, that's why you need to forget about going out and getting the big name player, and you need to worry about going out and getting the coach that
what's
can
our
lead,
identity?
that lead. Yeah.
Yes.
Now again, I'm not X's and O's, whatever. I think I'm just done hating on Stefanski and saying he needs to lose his job. I think everyone realizes now he should. I'm over that. But a new first-time head coach can't come into a culture like the Cleveland Browns and just build a great culture. It's just not going to happen. They need someone that can lead and fall in line. And that's why Harbaugh would have been a great. I mean, look at the Chargers. It took him 1 year. I mean, it's just the Harbaughs of the world.
Mike Vrabels.
Mike Vrabels of the world. Those guys that have identity, have that toughness. Build that first. Build the we're not playing the excuse game and all this other stuff. Build that, and then then everyone will fall in line, and then we can have a culture that's better than what Cleveland has right now. It's just they go out there and they try to it's almost like they try to just outsmart themselves, and it's like, guys, just what you should do. I don't know why they didn't get Harbaugh. I don't. He's a culture changer. Andy Reid, culture changer. Like those kind of guys, they need to go and make the big splash when it comes to the head coach. And then everyone else can fall in line because they know how to build cultures. The Harbaughs, that's what they need.
Well, and you hit the right there, Chantel. There's one guy that's in the common denominator in all this since 2016. It's funny, a lot of the same people I was referring to earlier, they always act like Jersey. They always say DePodesta is not really involved, and that's a fallacy. That's not true.
Why is he there then? I mean,
say that again. You're kind of muffled.
I said, why is he there then? Why has he been here? Why has he been there all this time if he's not involved? It's just to have him there? Absolutely, he's involved. He's the guy running the show. And I mean, I think here the defense plays the way it plays because Schwartz is just somebody that inspires his players. The Browns offense for several years now just always looked uninspired. Like they just no identity, you know. They just, no heart, as a whole. I'm not saying, I mean, some of the players got there to play hard, but it's just, like, I'm sitting here watching this Buffalo and I'm watching Baltimore and so a lot of other teams. I mean, we have an offense like I mean, it's just amazing how different, how lethargic our offense is every year compared to these offenses. And it doesn't have to be that way, but these guys, like these offense, like Baltimore, you know their identity. You know what I mean? And you got a guy out there like Lamar. He's the extension of Harbaugh. I mean, how could you not want to? I want to buy a Lamar jersey just watching the guy. You know what I mean? So I mean, as one of his teammates, you just how the hell are you not inspired by this guy to go play even harder? You know what I mean? So it's just a trickle down effect. It's a trickle down effect on the head coach and or at least the OC. But the common denominator is the defense. It is Stefanski. I think Stefanski's probably just a coordinator best, and that's okay. I mean, at some point they gotta cut cords, because nothing has changed in the whole time he's been here. The offense has looked the same, and I'm afraid we're just gonna have a repeat of 2 years ago. It's just the defense keeping us in the games, and they're just always, the magic ran out once they got in the playoffs. But your defense just getting gassed out for playing too many, on the field too much. So at some point they got to say, dude, your offense it just sucks. It's the worst in the league every year. I mean, it is.
And he's an offensive guy.
Yeah, so I'm saying I like the guy. Seems like he's a first class guy, but I mean, it's all about results, is it not?
Yeah.
I mean, it's all about results, and no one can argue with the results. I don't care how much you like Kevin Stefanski, you can't argue with the results, and the results are consistent. They're consistently terrible every year. I don't give a shit who's out there. You know what I mean? They're consistently terrible. So defense, it's a shame because you got a defense that looks like they're back from 2 years ago. I mean, they look great today. If they play like that every game, gosh darn. You just still got an offense that can compete.
Well, you said something too. Maybe remind me of this old report from a couple years ago. We fired the whole offensive staff, and I played this a million times in the show. But every time you talk, I just think of it again. Talking about Kevin's personality and how he's a nice guy, but this is when they fired Van Pelt 2 years ago.
I think there's the one key here that people will miss if they don't know it, right? So in Cleveland, the reason he was let go in Cleveland was because ownership and Paul DePodesta, not Kevin Stefanski, ownership and Paul DePodesta were frustrated with the progress Deshaun Watson had made. I don't think that they really, truly, the people who made that decision really, truly knew his value to that staff. And other people on that staff, not so much Kevin, but people below him, were floored when they fired him for two reasons. Number one, how do you fire the offensive coordinator after you just won 11 games with 4 different quarterbacks, with your fourth and fifth tackle, without Nick Chubb,
including at least 2 or 3 of those guys that nobody's ever heard of, right? I mean, you're talking about Jeff Driscoll, PJ Walker, Dorian Thompson-Robinson. Like, those are some of the guys he was working with.
So you just went through that, right? I mean, Zoe, how often do you see teams survive losing 1 tackle, let alone 3? They lost their first 3 tackles for the year.
They usually don't. I mean, look at the New England Patriots this year. You really had no tackles. There's no tackle depth. There's no tackle depth across the league, period.
Yeah. And he was able to help build an offense that was able to sustain with Joe Flacco coming off the couch, with their fourth and fifth tackles, without Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt coming back in. So there's that. Like, that I think is one reason why people there were floored that he got fired. The other one I think is the real key, though. He was the glue of that staff. Kevin, if you know him, he's a great guy. He's not the most outgoing guy. He's just sort of like his personality is very dry. He's got a good sense of humor, but he's not like this outwardly gregarious guy. Alex was the one that held that staff together.
And so I hear that, Jeremy, and that was from almost 2 years ago. You hear he's just his personality is not very outgoing. I think the guys like him and they respect him, but is that the guy that's going to lead the force week in and week out with that kind of personality?
How do you get the guys going? Who's the one pregame? You know what I mean?
Well, it's like you just said. Like Jersey
Who's
just
the
said,
one
they
in the
look-
locker room giving tune-ups when somebody needs a routine pit adjustment? Like, I don't mind, like, every now and again, like, one of the greatest coaches of all time, and this is a different sport, but Bobby Knight, right? Every single one of the players knew where they stood with him, and he knew that on any given day he would do anything in his power to help them. But if they were slacking or messed up, he'd get in their ass and correct it. Right?
Oh,
Hell, he threw a chair across the court. Sometimes you need something like that, a coach to get fired up or pissed off, to give you that, oh shit, we got to go ball out. You know what I mean? Or the, hey, I'm messing up. You know, I got to reevaluate, you know, my training or how I'm preparing for the games. If he can't talk, if he's a dry guy, I mean, how many dry teachers did you have? What did you do in their class when they were trying to teach you something? Probably trying to fight falling asleep because you couldn't stand to listen to him talk. Right? Guys, this is going to be this week's game plan. We're going to try to attack the seams. I think this is going to be a great opportunity for us to get you guys excited and you guys on the slots going this week. Sound good? Okay. Brownies on 3, brownies on me.
Yeah, I don't know.
Or you have a guy like Dan Campbell. Granted, they didn't, you know, sorry, Chris, but they didn't come out and play. But the Lions played a hell of a lot better football team than we did today.
Well, different culture up there.
It's, you know, what's that coach?
Jersey, you gotta fix your muffled really bad.
Buds them on.
Yeah.
Is it better? Is it better now?
No, it sounds like real muffled.
Oh no.
Nah, maybe just try to take them out and then come back in. I will see in a minute. But I'll go around the horn here. Mike, I'll go back to you. Dan says, does Stefanski remain with this team if they start 0-7?
Yeah, I think so. I think the plan this year has always been an evaluation year of young talent, all that. All reports have pointed to that earlier in the year. I'm just speaking what I know and what's been reported. The quota has been to find out if either of these rookie quarterbacks, they were both late picks, have any sort of franchise potential. And if they don't, to move to the 26th draft and draft their franchise guy there, which, I mean, the jury's still out on a couple of guys. A couple of guys have moved up on the board so far. We're still early in the college season, but my top 3 remain kind of floating up there. Garrett Nussmeier, Cade Klubnik's moved down significantly, but I'm still watching him. Lenore Sellers, and then the possibility of Arch Manning, Drew Aller still there. I think Arch Manning, Jeremy said something earlier that I actually think is true. I do think he's playing through a pretty significant shoulder injury right now. He was grimacing a lot while throwing, which could be the reason why he looks so bad against OSU. So, you know, I think this year, as reported, is just going to be a big evaluation year for talent and QB, and they're going to look to next year to get the franchise guy.
How confident are you in their evaluations?
Pretty confident. I mean, overall, At least in defensive talent, they found it. I mean, they haven't really picked a lot of first round talent. That's the thing to kind of evaluate. They did the Deshaun Watson trade, and that was a generational fall off. But I mean, overall, I've liked their drafts, especially defensively. They haven't picked a lot of offensive talent outside of like the two highest offensively draft players were like Jed. That was pretty much it. Everybody else was defense recently. The highest offensively drafted player they had was Quinshot Judkins. So we'll see what he's got, but at least overall talent evaluation, I like it. Jury's still out on quarterback because they haven't picked a first round quarterback, or a lot of first round receivers or what have you. So we shall see.
Chris, got anything you want to add to that?
I mean, who comes in and replaces him? Another new coordinator? I mean, one of their coordinators. I mean, Jim Schwartz maybe, but again, I don't even care about this year. They have to fire him after the season for sure, and get somebody that's going to come in there and change things, change the culture. It ain't about anything else. Forget the Stefanski talk after 0-8, 0-7, whatever. It doesn't matter because then what are you going to do? Hire Tommy Rees, promote him? I mean, none of that. It's not going to do anything. I think that the main thing is they have to get rid of him after this year. As far as the talent, I mean, I don't.
Oh yeah, I was going to ask you when you hear if that is true, what Mike's saying, what some of the reports seem like so far before the season that this is just an evaluation this year. I mean, what do you think of that? If these guys are just got the green light this year and they're safe and they're going to evaluate the talent all year.
I mean, does it surprise me? No, but I don't know why any front office will just be like, you know what, guys, you have the green light, you're safe. I mean, what is it? This is fifth year here?
Stefan, this is what year is this, Mike? 5 or 6?
Fifth year.
Yeah. So it's his 5th year here. Shame on the front office if they tell him, hey, you're good. Like, you don't have to perform. Like, I don't know of any boss that would ever tell somebody that. I mean, hey, you're allowed to be bad and you're going to keep your job. Like, that's just, to me, I don't understand that report. As far as talent evaluation, it's like, I mean, I don't know what other team in the NFL that Stefanski won. Well, he went to the playoffs. They've gotten worse since. I mean, you're just going to let him continue to keep his job? They've gotten worse as a team. And I mean, I don't know. I just think that I just think that they need a voice. That's what I think. I think they need a voice. I think they need a leader. And I think it starts at the top. And that's just, it doesn't matter who they draft at quarterback. If they don't have that voice, if they don't have that leader, if they don't have that chain of command, if they don't have that culture, it's going to fail. I find it very hard to believe that the Mannings would put Arch in this position. I find it very hard to believe.
Yeah, it's a great question. I don't know. I mean, again, the fact that we're even sitting here talking about next year already is just crazy, because that's what it seems like where it could be heading. But shout out to Jimmy Cleveland with the $10. Appreciate you. He said, I'm from Memphis, Tennessee. I've been following the Sanders from the beginning. Kevin is risking the whole season because of his disdain for Shador. Shador is the only one who can throw secure balls. Appreciate the super chat, Jimmy. Ravens defense looks mad scary. That's good. That's who we get to play next week. Man, if the Browns lose Ward or Garrett, they are done anyways. Jimmy Haslam is allowing this to happen, so he is to blame. How much of this is Kevin's fault, though? Revolving door at quarterback, so we really don't know how good Kevin is.
He's an offensive coach, Jeff. He's an offensive coach. He should be developing these quarterbacks. Why is it a revolving door of quarterbacks? Why? That's my question to you. Why is it Kevin's fault that there's a revolving door at quarterback? Because there's a revolving door at quarterback. Why is there a revolving door at quarterback? You're the coach. You're the offensive guy. You're the guru. Why haven't you developed a single quarterback? That's why it's Kevin's fault.
What quarterback have they drafted to develop, Chris?
Baker Mayfield.
Like 20 of them?
Baker Mayfield.
They didn't draft Baker Mayfield.
They inherited, though.
They had him. What do you?
As an offense, as
You
the
have to-
offensive coordinator,
Hold on,
it is
hold on,
his
Lynch.
job
Hold on,
to
Lynch.
X and O to his quarterbacks.
Hold on, Lynch. Hold on real quick. First off, you don't have to draft a guy to be able to develop him. They took the job knowing that that Baker Mayfield was the number 1 overall pick. It's not like, oh, you know what? We didn't draft you, so guess what? We're not going to try to develop you.
Exactly. They drafted DTR.
That's silly. That's silly to say. Oh, they didn't draft him. Who cares? Stefanski still, it's his job to get the best out of the quarterback that he has, right?
Mike,
there's a revolving door at quarterback because you have failed the quarterbacks, right? It's your job as a leader to get the best out of your people. And if you don't get the best out of your people, it's your fault as the leader. Right? I mean, Jersey, you've been in the business for how long? I mean, when someone quits, do you take it on yourself as the leader, like, I must have failed that person. Now, sometimes it just is what it is, and they stunk, and it is what it is. But that's the mindset that, at least that I have when I view coaching. If you've had failure after failure after failure as a quarterback, it ain't the quarterback, it's you.
It's absolute. Just Mike, just imagine if he was a GSM or a GM. I mean, your sales department consistently, selling 30 cars a month. You know what I mean? I mean, that's the comparable of what it is. So, I would love to ask Jimmy Haslam, has Kevin Stefanski done anything that you hired him to do? And see what the response would be. Because because it's the same as it was before they even hired him. It was shit before they hired him. I mean, the craziest thing is, I think the little bit that 1 year Freddie Kitchens was, when they brought Baker in, that was probably outside of the couple years ago, Flacco, when they just caught fire. But I mean, there was actually a little bit of rhythm in the offense for that short period, and then it just went to shit again. And stuff. These guys are hired, and I don't. The offense is no different than it was when they came in.
Oh,
you know what I mean? It's no different. It's just as bad. There's been no growth. I mean, you've spent $250 million on a quarterback. I'm not saying I necessarily blame him, but your job is to coach this guy. Your receivers dropping balls nonstop. You play with no heart. That's the biggest thing. You play with no heart. Play with no fucking heart. You know what I mean? So But here, he's just not that guy. He just isn't. These are football players. These aren't soccer players, man. He's just not that guy, and that's not an indictment on him. That's an indictment on the Browns to make him, basically the OC of the offense. Your coordinators are those are your guys. I mean, that's who's the coordinators are that's who's winning the games. That's who's in the trenches with these players. You know what I mean? Here, look at Ohio State, what they're doing right now with those coordinators. You know what I mean? Here, look at the 85 Bears. Half of them hoisted up Buddy Ryan. You know what I mean? It wasn't Mike Ditka. It was Buddy Ryan. They were playing for Buddy Ryan. So he's just not the guy that gets football players every day, all day through practice, practice all through the week, probably in the film room, anything. He's just not the dude that inspires them. I mean, a lot of these guys have probably all had great coaches their whole life, even down to youth. You know what I mean? Somebody's got them there. So it's hard to coach these guys. You got to have the right person to get these motherfuckers fired up every day. They got to be fired up for practice. I mean, that's where you're developing players. They got to be fired up for practice. It just doesn't seem like that happens. Schwartz, he's that guy, old school guy, a lot of fire in him. I mean, hell, he tried to fight Jim or Harbaugh out on the damn field one time. So, I mean, these guys, and we see it from afar. Imagine being a player. You know what I mean? I've worked with people like that. Like, I like them personally, but they just don't inspire me. You know what I mean? Not bad people. They just don't inspire me. Yeah, they don't get me all fired up and ready to go, like ready to go to war.
When the first thing you say about someone like in that interview or whatever that Joe shows is, well, he's a nice guy, it usually is never really a good thing. If the first thing you say about, oh, he's just a nice guy. Well,
actually, I have that not to cut you off, Chris, but that because he said I think he responded to you. So we haven't had a young quarterback with Kevin. It's always been veterans.
That's not true.
Jeffrey and I believe Kevin took us to the playoffs with 5 different quarterbacks, so he has done his job and he got us there. But that year, though, that was what he was referring to here when they fired Van Pelt. And I have it. Here's the clip you were just talking about right here.
The other one I think is the real key, though. He was the glue of that staff. Kevin, if you know him, he's a great guy. He's not the most outgoing guy. He's just sort of like his personality is very dry. He's got a good sense of humor, but he's not like this outwardly gregarious guy. Alex was the one that held that staff together. When guys were coming out, when guys were going in, he is a guy who was a unifying force in that building.
There you go.
What's their record after they got rid of Van Pelt?
They won 3 games last year. Was it? Yeah, 3 games last year. So they're 3-15. And with the worst offense in the league since?
Again, with your offense, your head coach is an offensive guy, and you have the worst offense in the league.
He said, plus Kevin went and drafted his guy, and the fans didn't like it. Dylan Gabriel is a Kevin guy, excuse me.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah,
I agree with that. And I don't think I'm probably the only one on this panel that actually thinks that Dylan Gabriel is a good quarterback. He's definitely small, but I think that he could definitely develop into a good quarterback in the right system. But this isn't the right place to do that. I mean, I don't know if Patrick Mahomes could take this Cleveland Brown offense and this Cleveland Brown team to a playoffs. And that's just the truth.
Yeah. He said Kevin's system works with the right quarterback and the right running back look. What we were doing with Kareem and Nick Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb. And I agree with that, Jeffrey, about the end part. About that's why I was saying I was bitching about today. If we don't run the ball effectively like we did today, we don't have a high chance of winning because I don't want to see Flacco throwing the ball 45 times and you kind of get the result you get today with 2 picks. Not saying they were all on him, but again, if we're able to run the ball more effectively, and that's why I was saying earlier too. And I see Christian Richards in the chat today. I saw you earlier. I agree with you, Christian, about building out the offensive line. I totally agree with that. Starting the trenches. You may have to look at some of these younger guys out there because some of the old linemen out today they just look pretty old. And if you can't run the ball in the system, it's not effective. But I know what we're talking more of what's Kevin's ability to develop a quarterback. Because again, Baker Mayfield, the biggest example. You inherited that guy after his second year, right? And his third year, he looked pretty damn good. You made it to the playoffs with him. Probably should have made it to the AFC Championship game. You should have won that divisional game against the Chiefs. And then he comes back the next year, he gets hurt, and it's just an absolute decline. We run him out of town, and you go out and handpick Deshaun Watson and give up all that stuff you gave for him, a guaranteed money that you would think, I don't care if you drafted Deshaun Watson or not, if you inquire him, you should have a plan for him as a head coach, and you inquire him, you should have a plan. It's your system, it's your team. You're paying all that money for a guy, you're invested in him. But again, that didn't work out. But when you go back to Baker, well, the Buccaneers didn't draft Baker, but why did it work with the Buccaneers? Because they have a culture they develop. It's winning. Go listen to what Baker Mayfield said in time since when he made it to on podcast since how much different it was when he got to Tampa Bay compared to any other place. Even the little pit stop he had with the Rams with Sean McVay was just a breath of fresh air. It saved his career. Because before that,
when he was with the Lions versus when he went to the Rams.
There you go. I mean, before that, Baker was with an abysmal organization with the Panthers, and so was Sam Darnold. How funny those two guys were in the same bad organization. Look where their careers are now once they got out of there. And then he was with the Browns, and the Browns kind of threw him under the bus. They didn't really. He was out there playing hurt. I mean, the week they played the Packers, that Christmas Day game, the guy didn't practice for 8 to 9 days straight. I think it was, or not, or was it because I think they had a delay or a break. He didn't practice for like a week, and they flew him out the morning of the game and threw him out there, and he threw 4 picks because he was unprepared. He didn't practice all week, didn't know what was going on because he didn't practice, but they threw him out there and had him out there and they were evaluating him that year like, you need to prove to us that you're the guy. He was hurt. You did him a disservice. That starts with you. I don't want to hear this whole, well, Baker wanted to play. No, it's your job as an organization. If he really was your investment, you would have told him you're not going out there and playing. It's more about the long term than the short term. But for some reason they didn't like him. And I know there's some former coaches on that staff who were there at that time and said they didn't think Baker's personality really meshed with Kevin. And so maybe that was the issue. But go ahead, Chris.
No, I mean, I'm exactly right. I'm just reading these comments. It's like, would you rather have Zach Taylor or Stefanski? I don't.
I'd rather have neither.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, again,
to pick who I really want.
The hate isn't on Stefanski as if I'm saying doesn't know his stuff or whatever. I'm saying they need to think bigger picture when it comes to head coach that can come in and change the organization. I'm not saying, hey, look for another young coordinator out there. I'm not saying look for the next, Kevin Stefanski coordinator or the next disciple of Sean McVay or any of that. I'm saying you as Cleveland have to fork up a ton of money and go out and get a leader and a culture changer that can come into that organization and fix it from top to bottom. And then you're going to be able to start going. And I don't even care if it's John Gruden. I know John Gruden is probably hated by some. Whatever. I know he had some bad emails and yada, yada, yada. And I understand those things. Yeah. But I guarantee you one thing, he demands respect. And he will get players to play for him. And he will change the culture. And at that point, you hire a smart coordinator that knows what he's doing, and then kind of just go from there. I'm not a believer in hiring these first-time head coaches. Dan Campbell's a first-time head coach, but Dan Campbell was respected and has been an assistant coach for the last 20 years, and it was respected by every single player that's ever came in contact with him, and he is a stone cold leader.
Oh, and you wouldn't say his personality is like what the hell he said about Kevin's?
No, not at all.
Not even close.
He's going to demand respect. He's going to lead a locker room. Like Joe said, your coordinators can be the X's and O's guys. You just need to change the culture. You need to go in there, demand the respect, get your locker room's ear, and have your players ready to run through a wall for you. And let the coordinators call the rest.
Jimmy Cleveland, appreciate the super chats, brother. He said Kevin is not a quarterback developer. He's looking for an instant game changer in the draft. That's a great point, Jimmy, because I don't like that mindset, Jersey and Jeremy, from this organization, if that's the case, for all the reasons we pointed out tonight. I just think if we're just tanking this year to try to wait for one guy or hopefully get a quarterback in the draft, you have to develop them and put them in the right situation. Now, again, I think if they get some of these younger offensive linemen out there and maybe they look good, okay, you got some offensive line stuff building. You got the running backs, I think will be good. You need to get some better receivers. You got the tight ends. So they are building out the team roster-wise. Certain areas I like for a younger quarterback down the road because they are getting younger and better. But to actually develop the position, that's a whole nother thing. And I don't know. I don't know. That's just my confidence level's not that high in that. Jersey, Jeremy?
Naturally, because it's all about, like I said, it's all about the results. So, you just can't argue with them. And we're off to the same thing we've been watching for 5 years now. It's the same shit. And now the problem is, here it's been the same shit for fucking 25 years. We just had Phil Dawson. We didn't miss field goals. Now we're missing the fucking field goals. It's just, he was brought in because he was supposed to be this offensive mastermind, and none of us have ever seen it. Nobody can sit up here and say we've seen it. And you've had enough time. All coaches, all organizations go through changes and player personnel, and you know what I mean? But you look at, you got some organizations that are just so consistent. They bring personnel in and out, and it's like they never miss a beat. You watch Baltimore, you watch Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's never had a losing season. And I don't know how many years. Well, Tomlin hasn't. Because there's a culture. We just can't say that. There's a freaking culture there. So,
well, it's like that play today. Remember where they almost got called for the when was it Dwan Jones had to declare, and remember they ended up not calling it. But Kevin looked at Joe Flacco and he asked him. He said, "Hey, Joe," he said, "Did you declare?" He asked him, and I remember I thought to myself, I was like, "Is that what he should be asking him in the middle of a game?" Like, didn't you not see it? Shouldn't that be like a known thing? Like, hey, that's the first thing we do when we get out there. Like, I don't need to ask if it was done or not. I already know my guys did it because we've gone over that. And
that's this guy. Dwan Jones is a professional football player.
No,
he knows.
But he did declare. But I'm saying it was not about Dwan Jones. I'm saying he asked Joe Flacco, did he declare? And I remember I thought to myself, why are you even asking him? You shouldn't have to ask. Like, it just seemed kind of like very. It just seemed very chaotic, like just kind of a little unorganized.
Well, no, I don't. I don't think as a head coach he should be micromanaging to that point. But the thing was, he did declare. So it was just the referees that made an error. But
I agree with that. But the fact that he even asked him, though, is what stood out to me.
Yeah, I know. But what I'm saying is I don't think any head coach that's why you got OCs, you got position coaches, you got, you know what I mean? In this case, you got your line coach. That's their job to make sure that shit's going on. So when they're changing that play and he's going in and reporting, that's their job to sit there and say, hey, make sure you declare. So
no, that's not what. But Jersey, that's not what he's
That's
saying.
not what I'm saying.
How didn't Stefanski have the awareness to see and notice that he actually declared or not? That's
that's what I'm saying is I don't think he should have to be worrying about that. At some point, that's why you have assistant coaches. You know what I mean? But we wouldn't be talking about this had the refs not screwed it up. The process worked. You know what I mean? So it really wasn't something to even be talked about. It's not that damn important for a head coach. That's why you delegate down. You know what I mean? I don't think any head coach, when you got a guy that's going in and reporting to a different position, I don't think they're sitting there at that very moment. Oh, we got to make sure this guy reports. If that's the case, something seriously. I mean, that's bad. I mean,
I think what he was just saying is, if you were watching the football field, you would have noticed that he reported.
It shouldn't even be a question.
I know exactly.
I'll go get any coach right now.
I know exactly what you're saying.
They would say that should never happen.
I don't agree with that. I don't.
It's a reflection of the chaos and how unorganized they are.
I don't think. Here, there's a whole lot of shit going on, and as a coach, you're forward thinking.
What's more important than the play happening on the field?
You're right, but what I'm saying is these guys are, at some point, players and assistant coaches have to be delegated to, and they have to be trusted. I mean, I'm just saying a head coach can't micromanage, nor should he want to, every single thing. You should be able to call a play, and these professional athletes know what the hell they practice the shit. It shouldn't even have to be a conversation.
Apparently it wasn't. But why did he ask?
Because he's probably just saying, "Did you fucking declare?" Like I assumed you declared.
Should have known.
Yeah, I know,
but he just said it. Thanks for the $5. But if he's calling out plays, then he should know. I'm gonna bring a coordinator. I'm gonna ask him about this.
Listen,
and they'll say,
I don't think any head coach should have to be worrying about that.
It's not that he was worried about that, though, Joe. Is how in the world, if he was looking at the game, I think Joseph is trying to say he clearly wasn't paying attention to the game, because if he was paying attention to the game, he wouldn't have had to ask Flacco to declare, because he would have known that he declared.
Okay, what I'm saying is, I think a coach should be able to assume that the player here, DeJuan Jones knows what he has to do when he goes in and declares. He knows this. He knows he has to do it. I don't think Kevin Stefanski should have to sit there before the play and watch DeJuan Jones to make sure he declares. If that's the case, get DeJuan Jones. No, he shouldn't have to. He shouldn't have to watch for it. It should just be automatic. These guys are pros. It should just be automatic. So
I know, but the fact that he's not, though, what does that tell you?
No, everything worked. It's just the ref screwed up. That's what I'm saying. Apparently, he didn't have to watch it and manage it because it already worked. The guy did declare.
But he didn't watch it because he asked Joe Flacco if he did.
I know that, but what I'm saying is, without him watching for it, DeJuan Jones declared. He did what he was supposed to do. That's what I'm saying. No coach should have to micromanage down to that detail. If they are, they got a problem.
No, not really. You got to know that's the most important part of that play.
Well, I don't know every single damn thing that goes on in my showroom, and I don't want to either. So that's why I have people around me to do things.
I know, but that's from a football standpoint, that's pretty damn.
God.
That's pretty minor. I mean,
Right,
that's pretty. The play can't run unless you know it.
Yeah, I
And if you
know,
don't
but
know it, you get a fucking
you're
flag.
not coaching 12-year-olds.
I know that, but again. We don't have to discuss it anymore.
I think
That's fine.
I think that's kind of like nitpicking. Is all I'm saying.
I don't think it. I think it's Gergs. I think you get what I'm trying to. Somewhere
I know exactly what you're saying. I just disagree with you.
Again, I look at the result of the game. I think it reflected it.
Well, the result of the play was the guy declared.
Let's get Antonace's thoughts on next week's Baltimore Browns game and how ugly it's going to be.
They lost.
I want score predictions because right now Baltimore looks like they're heading to the Super Bowl.
Right.
And their rookie kicker just missed the extra point.
Just running the ball.
Kickers.
Just running the ball.
Chantel thinks that the Browns are going to score 23 on the Ravens. That's funny.
Well, here. I mean, the Ravens could come in and shit the bed. Doesn't look like they will, but you never know. You know what I mean? After this win. So.
Mike, what's your score prediction?
Ravens 28, Browns 21.
Jersey?
I'm gonna say Ravens. I'm gonna say Ravens 31, Browns 10.
Chris?
I'm going to say 41 Ravens. 9 Browns.
I'm going to say what'd you say, Jersey?
He said he thinks that kicker's gonna make 3 field goals.
No, I think he's going to miss an extra point.
Yeah. No, I think I'm going to go Ravens 38, Browns 17. That's being nice with 17. Again, my whole play with the whole thing though is just the attention to detail. You could see it on the sideline, you could see it on the game. The fact he's even asking that question was bizarre to me. You should have been watching the game and knowing what the hell was going on. You should be aware of every little thing that's going on as a play caller. And it reflects on the field. They don't do the little things well. They don't catch the ball. They don't run the ball well. They can't kick field goals. It comes down to details, and they don't do that well here in Cleveland. That's how you lose games a lot of times. And so they'll continue to score 20 or less points because of that. And that's that. So I'll Dan said 38-6. That might be more accurate. I gave 17 just to be nice, but I got Ravens 38. Browns, I said 17, maybe even 14. Garbage time touchdown. I think it's going to get ugly. I don't think it's going to be pretty.
Oh, I agree with you.
Yeah, again, they don't block well against mediocre defenses. Michael Boykins, thanks for tuning in. He said 56-16 or 55-16, excuse me, missed the extra point. So he says 16 points again. I almost said 16 points again too. You know what? I'm going to say 38-16. I agree with that. They're going to miss the extra point. What else here? Jeffrey says 23-21 with a Browns win. Tay says 21-17 Browns. Defense will be on the field too long. Let's see here. Some people in the chat though do believe that we could win next week. Dan says we are going to score more points against the Ravens than we did against the Bengals. LOL.
Yeah, my dude has a couple gummies in him on this Sunday night.
Beast Girl says 56-3 Ravens. Jeffrey says, I believe in that defense because we can hold the Bengals to 6 yards. But I think the difference, though, next week for me is that the Ravens will run the ball a lot better than the Bengals did, and I think that'll be the difference in the game. Because I don't expect us to change anything offensively.
You're not going to control the line of scrimmage against the Ravens like you did.
Or the time of possession.
Yeah.
Or any of that. They'll just dominate the game.
Yeah.
And our defense will be tired from long drives. Because eventually, unless the only way that Browns can possibly win that game is that the offense gets off to a fast start. I mean, a fast start in the first quarter to take pressure off that defense, so they don't have to sit out there the whole game and get tired at the end of the game. That's the only way I see them winning. Other than that, I don't expect anything to change because I just don't. That offense right now is just so discombobulated. I don't think they're going to be able to come out on a hot start like that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know when the next time they're going to win a game.
Oh man, that long? When do you think they'll win a game this year, Gergs? Are you predicted 0-17?
No, I'm not. I mean, I'm not going that far. A blind squirrel usually finds a nut, but I mean, they just dominated a game and still lost. It's hard to say, like, you know, they're going to win. But I'm looking at the schedule here, and I don't really know. I mean, Ravens lost, Packers lost, Lions lost, Vikings lost, Steelers lost. Oh, there it is. A home against the Dolphins.
Oh, they should. I mean, they better win. Jersey, what if they lose to Mike McDaniels at home? How mad will you be?
Stefanski better run like hell. If he loses that freaking fucking twerp, I mean, that'll be, if he's still here, I mean, I will go up there and stand outside Berea with signs. I don't care how cold it is. Fire the son of a bitch for losing to Mike McDaniels. The most egregious thing that could ever happen. And it's in Cleveland, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in Cleveland.
Yeah, Mike McDaniels will be cold. He'll be all bundled up. You know, he won't have his capri pants on. He should not lose to Mike McDaniels.
Mike, when do you see the next Browns win, brother?
Could be next week.
You have to
I'm
predict,
not.
when do you think they'll realistically win their next game?
Probably against the Packers. I have us beating the Packers.
All right.
You just don't freaking know. I mean, my gosh. I mean, the good news is, I mean, if the defense keeps playing that way, you just got to get it here. Bengals didn't turn the ball over today. That doesn't normally happen. So you got a defense playing like that. You can just be on the other end of some turnovers and not turn the ball over. You know, you can win a game. You know what I mean? No matter who you're playing.
Well, yeah.
If you can win that turnover battle. So, I mean, you think it could be a fluke next week and they win next week. Just be a fluke, but.
You think the Browns going to go whole full game without turning the ball over?
No, but I'll say if you turn over one, let's say you force 3 turnovers, but you know what I mean. I'm just saying. I mean,
yeah.
Josh Allen's turning the ball over left and right tonight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and he's down 15 points at home with 9 minutes left in the fourth quarter. So, probably because of his turnovers. We'd never expect that, but he played like shit tonight.
I mean, he's still. I mean, he's just trying to force things because he knows that he's in a track meet.
Well, it doesn't. But still, though, he's down 15 points. You wouldn't expect him to be down with almost a whole half a quarter left, down 15 points at home. No one would have thought that. So I'm just saying, odd shit happens.
Yeah. I don't know. Hopefully next week's better than this week, but based on everybody's score predictions, I'll listen to me when the chat are a lot more optimistic. So I appreciate the optimism. You know, I don't want to sit up here like a funeral every week. How many games does Flacco, or excuse me, how many picks does Flacco throw next week? Dan says 4 with a question mark. Mike?
Hopefully 0.
What's your prediction? You got to put it
0.
0. Okay, so you think he plays clean operation next week?
Yeah.
All right. Bergs?
Two.
2 from Jersey. What's yours?
Here, well, they're going to be doing the same thing this week. They won't be able to run the ball, so it'll be he'll probably have 50 plus pass attempts next week. So,
oh man,
I'm gonna say at least 3.
Yeah, I'm gonna say 3. 2 on the receivers, and he just gets pissed and just says F it, just tries to jam one in like cover 2, and their state Kyle Hamilton picks it off. Yeah, he said 1 pick on a fumble. I saw a lot of teams that need a quarterback this week. Joe Flacco will throw 1 pick and have 2 touchdowns. So everybody's saying, oh, Mike said 0 picks. So everybody else does saying at least 1. Yeah. So, gentlemen, you guys got anything else before we get out of here? Any final thoughts on this week or in the NFL and the Browns? I feel like the crickets in the background are just kind of summing it up with the Browns.
Yeah, watch the Buckeyes on Saturdays.
Yeah, watch the Buckeyes on Saturday, and go support your local high school team on Friday night. You have a great time.
Right. You want to
Mike came to his first Friday night football game since he went to high school, which is like 10 plus years ago. Mike, how great of a time did you have Friday night, Mike? Just watching.
Oh, it was a great time. It was a lot of fun. Football. A lot of fun. Good energy in the crowd too.
He finally saw what a good coach looks like.
Shut the hell up, Chris.
Gerg, that team from Detroit
they were good.
They were really good, man. That's probably one of the best teams. That's 1 or 2 teams, 3 teams I've seen Hoban play. I mean, that was a good ass team, man. Quarterback was really good. They were a good, solid team. What's that?
Cass Tech, Detroit Cass Tech.
No, Detroit King, Detroit Martin Luther King.
Okay.
Big team, man. Big team.
Yeah, they were good.
They got a real program over there. Hell, they must have had 50 cheerleaders.
Yeah, they had a big roster too, and they all came out with the boombox dancing. Right, it was nice. They were cool. I liked them.
Big. I mean, it was a great game.
Yeah, I saw 22-21 or something.
Yeah,
23-21. We went on a field goal, 30 seconds left. Shout out to Jeremy Hamill. He said, I did see some good things from Harold Fannin, Dylan Sampson, Cedric Tillman looked good. I thought Fannin, and that's my positive from today's Jeffrey. I agree. I think Ced had a good game until the drop. It was just a bad timing with the drop. But Fannin and Dylan Sampson were very impressive today. I was impressed with all the rookies, really. I thought Mason Graham looked pretty good. I thought Carson Schweitzer team looks like a future star. I think he'll be great. But yeah, I agree. There was the positives. They were the rookies for sure coming out to give you some hope. DiBiase just joined the chat. He said pain. Shout out to DB. Let's see anything else here. Remember the Browns lost to a Saints Dome team in 0-degree weather. I remember that. That was yeah. He said, but honestly, if we had a kicker, we would have won today. That's the worst thing. It was like that it was like that last year. You got to have a kicker. I mean, easy points, and we just can't get them. We just anything easy, we don't do well.
You got to find a way to run the ball.
Yeah. Any final thoughts, gentlemen? Mike, anybody?
Like, subscribe, and share.
Yeah, you guys will tell me to like, subscribe, and share or what?
Folks, thank you so much for joining us this fine evening. If you like what you heard, please like, subscribe, and share this content. We are trying to get to 1,000 subscribers throughout the season and beyond. Thank you all for chatting and commenting in. And if you're watching this on playback, please leave a comment below. Give us your take. All opinions are welcome as long as you're respectful. But thank you guys so much for joining us. We'll see you on the next one.
Shout out to LaFlame. He says, shout out to y'all. Shout out to Michael Boykins. He said, love you guys. Good night. Love you too, Michael. Thanks for joining. Got to find some linemen to run the ball behind. Yeah, that's why I said maybe get them young guys out there, Whippler, and maybe trade some of these older guys if they keep it up. Christian said, you guys are great, man. Oh, thank you, Christian. We appreciate you guys. Chantel said, good night, guys. Was fun, as always. He said, if you'd like to hear more complaints about Stefanski, just watch every episode we have ever done. That's right. And Dan certainly shown a lot of complaints. But shout out to all you guys tonight. Shout out to all the super chats. We had a lot of super chats today, too. We really appreciate that. Shout out to you guys. Yeah. You got any final words?
What's up?
You got any final words?
No, here just so the Browns find a way to run the damn ball, so we get have a chance at scoring some points. But other than that, hey, just everybody have a great week. Thanks to everybody for just it's great to see more and more people coming on, chatting, super chats, more people contributing. So it's nice to have a full panel up here. Thanks, guys, for coming on. And like I said, like, subscribe, share. Like, subscribe, share. You hear it so often, but everybody just stop for a moment that's listening. Like, subscribe, and then when you're done, share it. All right? It means a lot, and we're very appreciative. So other than that, I'm out.
That's right. Like, subscribe, share all the good stuff. And Dan's final words, just go for 2 the rest of the year. That's it.
Right.
Mike, are you saluting, Mike? What are you doing tonight?
I am saluting. I'm just standing on the ceiling, saluting as we speak. Climbed up on my roof.
All right. We'll see you guys next one. We're out of here.
See you guys.